ETMax is Begode's answer to the mighty Veteran Lynx. And at 168 volt with a free spin speed of 115 miles per hour, it may very well be the fastest production electric unicycle ever built. This week, I'm gonna ride the ETMax, see exactly how fast it goes, and attempt to answer the question, is this wheel worth its very high asking price of $4,100?
We want some of that money.
Perhaps even more importantly, is it better than the Veteran Lynx? That and my attempt to hit 60 miles per hour on an electric unicycle. Roll the intro.
Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video and help spread the uni gospel.
First, a quick shout out to Jason at eWheel for sending me this ETMax for review purposes, but as usual, all opinion expressed is strictly my own. And don't forget to check out the MOSFET.com for EUC accessories, including this awesome e-ride pedals. Now, if you have recently saw my video review of the Veteran Lynx, you may be getting a slight sense of deja vu. Wasn't this guy just saying how that wheel was supposed to be the fastest ever, and now a few weeks later, he's singing the praise to a whole different wheel? And it is absolutely true that the race for building the fastest wheel ever has never been hotter. And that is mostly because that all EUC manufacturers have come to the realization that they are nothing more exciting to us EUC hardcore rider than more power and faster top end speed. The sheer ludicrousness of high-speed riding on a unicycle is also the thing that most buyers find most fascinating and attractive about a wheel.
Electric unicycle as a self-balancing vehicle has always been attractive for me because of their ability to amplify the physical ability of the rider and translate thoughts to motion. Riding a powerful wheel absolutely feels like being given superpower, and the more power you have, the better it is, even if you never intend to test the outer limit of how fast your wheel can go. And there has been one sure way of increasing power output, and that is higher voltage.
When I started riding 5 years ago, the introduction to the now legendary Begode 100 volt MSX with its, at the time, impressive free spin speed of 60 miles per hour was huge news. And ever since then, higher voltage had remained Begode, who later on became Begode's winning formula for best-selling flagship electric unicycle like the 134 volt Master they introduced in 2022. And this is a fact that their main competitor, Veteran Lynx, knows all too well, especially since the company was built by former Begode engineers. And this is also likely the reason why they choose to leapfrog the batch of 134 volt wheels from both Begode and other EUC companies with their 150 volt Veteran Lynx. Which brings us to my review, and as usual, I'm gonna rate the ETMax based on 5 different criteria: design, convenience, ride quality, performance, and finally value, on a scale of 1 to 5.
Starting with design, cutting edge and experimental are 2 adjectives frequently associated with Begode as a brand. Yet from a design perspective, very few of their wheels ever look the part of an extreme performance machine. And although the ETMax wouldn't win any design award, its angular, almost stealth fighter-like lines and triangular profile finally feel right, colliding what may be the most revolutionary wheel Begode has ever released. For an electric unicycle targeting riders who care more about what's under the hood than how the wheel looked, the sleek all-black monolithic design is perhaps appropriate. I also appreciate the move away from relying on large sculpted side pads to complete the look of the wheel, since they are often the first thing to go when a rider customizes their wheel.
But there's one major problem with the design of the ETMax, and it has nothing to do with how it looks, but how much it weighs. 50 kilograms or 110 pounds. This is a wheel that not only looked like a slab of steel, but weighed just about as much.
A problem that Veteran took much pain to address with the Lynx by going with an all-magnesium build, and to their credit, managed to produce a similarly sized wheel at less than 3/4 of its weight.
There's many downsides to a heavier electric unicycle. Agility, acceleration, and suspension performance all suffer as a result, and you can forget about trying to carry it up a flight of stairs.
But despite the plasticky build, I do think that the ETMax is the best looking wheel Begode has ever produced. But I still must dock a point for weight, and it earns a 3 out of 5 for design.
Next, let's talk about convenience. Like prior Begode wheels, the headlight is not terribly helpful. It's not very bright, adjustable, or focused. And the tail light is mostly decorative. Prior Begode wheel also have decent centrally located trolley handle. But for the ETMax, for whatever reason, Begode decide to go with this flimsy folding design, something that most other EUC company now avoids, which make trolleying this very heavy wheel tricky and unnecessarily annoying. There's a simple plexi kickstand that is okay. A serviceable mud guard that's not going to keep you clean in rain or mud. And since the ETMax does not carry any official water resistant rating, despite its improved seal and gasket, riding the rain is still going to be at your own risk.
On the positive side, for EUC enthusiasts, the ETMax remain intuitive and easy to work on, and you can swap your tire or two by just removing a single battery pack, which is nice, save time and keep you sane. The pedal height can also be adjusted up to 2 inches, which have a huge impact on ride feel and performance, and is an option that I wish other EUC companies would copy. For a wheel that unenthusiastically check all the convenience requirement, the ETMax is not terribly smart nor convenient and earns a 3 out of 5.
Next, let's talk about ride feel. Despite the incredible performance of this wheel being its biggest draw, I actually think that ride feel should be the biggest deciding factor in whether or not this wheel is right for you. The ETMax is 30 pounds heavier than the Veteran Lynx, and that additional weight has a drastic impact on all aspects of this wheel, especially how it rides.
Despite having more power than the Lynx, acceleration from 0 to 40 miles per hour is no faster, since you will be slower off the line because of the additional weight. Braking distance is longer, and you will need to lean harder and deeper to achieve the same result as the Lynx.
But the greater weight also gives you more stability, especially if you lower the pedal height, but doing so also reduce the force of your input and make the wheel less responsive and slower to accelerate and brake. This is why its ability to accommodate customization is both a blessing and a curse, and means that with a little bit of experimentation, you very likely will be able to tune for that perfect ergonomic ride that you have been looking for all this year. But if you do not have the experience or the knowledge to properly tune this wheel, then you may end up with a heavy, slow, unresponsive, and frustrating ride experience as compared to the Lynx, which offer much less amount of customization, but for the most part work pretty much right out of the box.
A heavier wheel also places greater demand on the shock, and the coil shock with the stock 1300-pound spring did not live up to that task. It is more bouncy and less cushioning, and had a noticeably worse time with the terrible road surfaces here on First Avenue. The coil shock is also more finicky and require purchasing additional spring if you wish to customize it to your own weight. If given the choice, I would have choose the air spring Begode has shipped with the Extreme, which is more customizable and less bouncy. The stock road tire took some getting used to and is more agile and maneuverable as compared to the knobbies on the Lynx. It does feel more stable in the turn and is likely excellent on racetrack, but not so much on the crater surfaces I ride on regularly.
And in the end, its significant weight and troublesome suspension setup are major downsides, and although neither would be noticeable on a racetrack or smooth roads, and let me say that this wheel can be an absolute joy to ride when the condition align and you have that perfect road and open space to really push at its performance envelope. But that is not where I do the majority of my riding, and as a result, the ETMax earns a 3 out of 5 for ride feel for me. Finally, we come to the question of performance. The ETMax is everything you expect out of its incredible specification and is the fastest electric unicycle ever built, even faster than its incredible arch nemesis, the Veteran Lynx.
And the latest Gen 4.5 kilowatt curved tile magnet line motor gives you a buttery smooth, almost deceptively effortless acceleration curve all the way up to its maximum speed.
But exactly how fast does the ETMax go? Well, it's time for the cutout tunnel challenge. Alright, I tried the right tunnel, but the road was too uneven and it keeps shifting the wheel. Because of the narrow tire, the ETMax has a tendency to follow curvatures in the road. Not terrible when you're going at a regular pace, however, at 50 miles plus, it starts to do all kind of funky stuff. But what I can say is that 57 miles per hour on this wheel is effortless. I have zero doubt that I'd be able to squeeze more speed out of it.
Alright, that was a little bit disappointing. I was really hoping to hit 60 miles per hour. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure that the ETMax is fully capable of. I'm gonna try dropping the pedal height one notch. Hopefully that's going to give me just a little bit more stability. And then I'm gonna play around with pad placement. Hopefully that would give me a little bit more push as well.
Keep in mind that the surfaces in the cutout tunnel, although smooth, it's still littered with regular dips with manhole covers, and as I come to find out, waviness that cause the wheel to wobble if you don't hit them just right. It is also only quarter of a mile long, which means that at 55 miles per hour, lasts only 20 seconds before I have to decelerate to a stop at the end. So the real test here is whether or not the ETMax have enough acceleration to reach 60 miles per hour in quarter miles and is stable enough to deal with the subpar surfaces while doing so. And I was coming close, but still not achieving the big 6-0. But I did figure out towards the end that having my right arm down holding the selfie camera stick was causing the left leaning pull, and that holding both of my arm up pushed me just a little bit faster. Finally, on one of the last night before the video deadline on a rainy day no less, after mounting the camera to the wheel so I can free up both arms and adding a heavy backpack to further increase the force of my lean, I finally pull myself over the line that I have drawn 3 years ago of riding an electric unicycle past the 60 miles per hour mark. Others have certainly done so before, but as a relatively conservative rider in a place that is absolutely not suited for high-speed riding, it took every bit of that mighty 168-volt power to push me past this milestone.
And without a doubt, the ETMax is the fastest and most powerful electric unicycle available on the market right now, and it earns a 4.5 out of 5 for performance. We come to perhaps the trickiest question of value. Is the ETMax worth its very high price of $4,100? And my answer is no. Not for you, that is. $4,100 is not a sensible nor reasonable price, but then again, neither is the ETMax a sensible or reasonable wheel. This is a wheel that was built from the ground up to be the perfect electric unicycle for the hardest of hardcore EUC riders, who's willing to do whatever it takes to shave even a few seconds off of their track time. And knowing how few EUC racers there actually are, chances are you're not one of them.
Lamborghinis are terrible cars. They're expensive, inefficient, unreliable, inconvenient, and difficult to drive on anything but racetracks. Sounds familiar?
Yet knowing all that, I suspect that most, if given the chance and the resources, would love to own one. Because you aren't buying a car, but an idea. a dream and aspiration for speed so incredible that it redefined what is physically possible. And that is likely the only reason why you will want an ETMax. But then again, do you really need that $1,300 iPhone Max or that $100,000 Cybertruck? Yes, you do.
So have I sold you on a wheel based on nothing but reverse psychology? Well, you can tell me all about that in the comment section below, and you know what? Once again, I ramble on too long and somehow managed to waste another 15 minutes of your life, but I hope you enjoyed it. Shout out to my supporter on Patreon. Please check out the link in the video description below if you enjoy and like to support my work. And as always, as much as we all love electric unicycle, the only way for us to get better wheel is to grow as a community. So tell your friend, teach him how to ride, and get them hooked. Until the next video, thank you.